one of the issues that has come up when planning and designing a course is the idea that students may or may not get put off by having to scroll through a long list in the modules view as a way of accessing their teaching, learning, assessment materials, etc., etc., etc. So what I've produced here is a template that negates the need to have the module view available for students to use. So if I go into student view, you'll see now that that is now away. Okay, so there's no option there to get into the module view. So what I've built is a navigation around the course material without that. So I've kept the original template that's on MyCity, which, yes, you can adapt and develop and change as you see fit, but I thought for this example and as a starting point I would keep a lot of what exists already. I have removed the button that takes you into course resources because the way that a lot of the courses in our area works, they are quite resource heavy. So you're going to see in a minute there's an entire section devoted to how that works. So I've taken that off of the front page. So I've just left the Meet Your Lecturer, the discussion forum, and the project overview button, which is really where things actually kick off and start. So in there, what I've done is I've effectively recreated the feature in Canvas, in Moodle that most people really got to quite like, this idea of the grid format. So within that, the student can then access the activities. But what I've done is I've created a navigation down here. I've left the Q&A on there. We can get back to the project overview. Or we could jump right back to the home page should we see fit. So effectively a simple website layout. And then at the bottom, again, I've got the Q&A, I've got the home page. But the course resources, which is going to be very similar to the way that I've set up the overview, is that I've created a grid. In this example, I've used the same images for expediency, but probably a good idea to have different images in here so that the student would know that they're in a different section. But in here, this is slightly different because now when I click on here, I'm actually going into the resources for that particular activity. So the whole idea is that you can navigate from within the pages and the assignments, and then there's no need to place these up here. So all that's left up here are the important aspects: grading, announcements, the home page, and then access to OneDrive and Teams. So if I go back to the home page finally, you'll see here I've put in at the top a place for announcements. You can have as many announcements up here as you want. You can have 3 displayed, 1 displayed, and they will update. So that's quite useful, and I'll go into details about how that works in a minute. But extensively, what we've got here now is a simple navigation around a project template. I just wanted to go through and explain the way this has been set up. If we go into the modules view, in one module we've got all of the navigation in there and the main homepage and project overview and the course resources, and these have all been set up as pages. The Q&A is in there as well. I then create a module for all of the activities and in Canvas speak, the assignments. So these are all set up as assignments with all the advantages that assignments can have. And then all the support material has been set up as pages. So we can access those individually and view all pages. So there's all of the pages we've got, and then there's all of the assignments in there. Again, the students won't see any of these. In terms of the way this has been structured, I've been quite mindful of how the page will work, both from the point of view of accessibility and when the content is being viewed on a mobile device. All of these, as we're going to see, are all not placed within a table, but are just laid out next to each other when we construct the page. And the advantage of that is because that allows, when we go into mobile, you'll see that the content will shift. So if we simulate what it would look on mobile, we now see that our navigation is stacked, and eventually the sidebar disappears completely on the mobile. So this is effectively what you'd be viewing. Also, images are designed to rescale on mobile, which is very useful. If we were to build this using a table, there becomes certain accessibility problems if you don't build the table properly. Also, you're starting to often fix the size of the table, and again, that creates problems when you start to view on mobile. So that's worth thinking about. I'm now just going to have a quick look at how you go about editing this template for your own use. If you go into Pages and go to View All Pages, you can find the page you want to edit, and I want to show you how I built the project overview navigation. So I've got a demo here that I'm going to click into. Let's say, for example, you wanted to change the icons for your navigation and use different icons. I'm just going to delete this one out of the middle, and then I'm going to just upload a course image that already exists, and I'm just going to put that back in, and you'll see that it's come in here and it's quite large. So I'm just going to scroll across. Oops. I'll save that first. It's easier to save it, and you'll see now that we've got a large image. So I'm going to go back in and edit that, and what I can do is I can get at the image properties. Well, I could check the size of the image property on this one and see that it's 180 in terms of height. So I can go in and put 180 in there, and then I can go ahead and create any course links, and this goes back to the home page, and save. So that's how you perhaps start updating your navigation. In terms of building that grid, it's very, very similar. If we go back into editing mode, we start with where we want to put the image. So we're in the page editing mode here, and you've got your upload image here. So images that I've done already. So I'm going to start just by bringing in the first image. I'm going to submit that. And I've already resized that to the size that I want it previously. And you would then continue for as many images as you need. Obviously, you've got to prepare these in another piece of software before you bring them into Canvas, but I think that's fairly apparent for most folk. And then it's just a case of adding the links that we want to the course links. These are going to be in for assignments rather than pages. So if I pop into assignments, I can put one on, and you can do them all in one go. It's quite quick. Assignment 2, once you've set it all up, and then save, and now I'm ready to go. You can add assignments and pages here, remove assignments and pages here should you wish to remove from the module list. You've got a removal there. It doesn't remove it from pages. You'd need to then go in, view all pages, and then you can remove the page that you want there. Finally, I just wanted to go through how you might want to add, remove, show announcements on your home page. Two choices. You can go to a new announcement from over here, or you can go into the announcement section. I'll quickly create an announcement and give it a title and some content. Everything else can be left as it is, unless of course you want to start adding files, etc., or start to change how and when the post is replied, or whether you want people to be able to comment on the post, that sort of thing. I'll save that, and then when you go to the home page, you'll see now that has appeared at the top. I can control this. If I go into settings, this is how we get it to appear at the top page, on top of the page. In more options, I can either don't show announcements or show announcements, and I can control how many appear in that section. So now when I go back to the home page, you'll see that I've got the last two announcements in there, and should I want to remove an announcement, I can nip in here and delete that announcement.